Hey guys, this is Undercover Dudes all the way from Down Under, and today we're going to be talking more about Radical Heights, a new battle royale game that is nothing like Fortnite or PUBG, and that's very good indeed. First up, if anybody says this game is a rip-off of PUBG or Fortnite, they're 100% wrong. The only common element is that you drop in with 100 other people, kill enemies, try to be the last person, and there's a kill zone that gets gradually smaller and smaller. Realistically, every other element of Radical Heights is completely different to the two massive juggernauts, or it varies to some degree, and this is very, very exciting. Radical Heights is a game that focuses purely on fast movement and chaotic gameplay. Movement in this game is dominated by a roll function, which allows you to go and rapidly reposition in fights, and with the abundance of cars, ledges, and walls as cover, it means that positioning, utilizing that cover, and flanking all become extremely important. The reason for this? The time to kill in this game is absolutely insane. 1 second versus a good player and you are gone. One mistake and you're back to the lobby. You can't be out in the open with no cover because that is simply a death sentence. In PUBG, you might be able to run away. In Fortnite, you can build walls around you. In this game, if you are caught out in the open and somebody is good, you will just get lasered down. It is very, very frightening. I absolutely love this. It's so frustrating being lasered down, but in the end, you realize it was your fault because you were out of position, you went for a risky move, so on and so on. And that's just another reason to go and hop back in and try again. Each fight is intense because regardless of what health, armor, and weapons you have, there is the potential for an enemy to go and kill you with a well-placed headshot or a sneaky flank, even if they have weak weapons. Gunplay feels almost hit-scan-like, with minimal bloom but higher damage. The over-the-shoulder zoom gets you slightly more accuracy, while the aim-down sight function allows you to pull off precise shots. However, that completely stops you from moving fast and rolling, which is a key tactic to winning any fight. This results in any battle being a tense one, so each kill feels rewarding and really adds to the enjoyment factor. Like all battle royale games, you can find weapons and armor on the ground and of course through randomized drops. But in Radical Heights, there is in-game cash. You can earn this cash by destroying cash registers, killing enemies, etc. But the difference is between this and all the other type of battle royale games, you can store that cash in a bank account that can be used in any match. So for example, you could store $1,000 into your bank account in a match that you're owning in, and then you can pull that money out in the next. Now it sounds overpowered, and that was my original thought as well, but because you can only go and take out $100 at a time, and the animation is painfully slow, you're actually putting yourself at a major risk of dying. Big risk for a big reward, that reward getting a better weapon or getting better armor. I feel like this risk and reward dynamic is more prevalent in this game than any other battle royale titles because of the extremely fast time to kill and the very, very minimal spread. Do you stay the extra 30 seconds to carefully loot an enemy's body when you know other enemies are coming for you? If they just shoot you in the back, half a second, 1 second, you're basically dead. Do you keep taking money out of your bank account to buy a rare piece of armor? Do you go to the special drop, and there are numerous amounts of them, in order to go and find rare loot? Well, this is prevalent in Fortnite and PUBG. In Fortnite, you can simply build, and in PUBG, there isn't too many temptations. Radical Height has temptation everywhere. So with that intro into temptation, let's talk about the drops. Throughout the match, there will be some special events, be it areas where money is raining from the sky, or the classic spin the win, where massive wheel drops in a random area and stopping it will go and give you some absolutely amazing loot. Now people naturally go towards these areas because they want to go and find enemies and get loot, but also because the game somewhat forces people to go into these areas even from the very start. This is because Radical Heights doesn't use a circle system. It uses a randomized grid system where it will go and lock off certain squares of the map. Now this happens even from the start. There will be towns where you simply can't enter, you'll go and take damage. And so it forces the 100 contestants to go and move together into specific towns. And this goes and ups the pace of the game, and so there'll always be enemies to go and find. As the match goes longer and longer and longer, more and more squares will be kill zones, and that feeds all the enemies towards a final showdown area, which increases the tension majorly. So what I'm trying to say is that in terms of the core gameplay and core ideas, Radical Heights is a fantastic game. Yes, the mechanics are sloppy and need to be definitely tuned up, but the fundamentals for a really fun battle royale game are here. But then we have to take into consideration that this is a rushed early access game, and there is many elements to Radical Heights that really significantly take away from its enjoyment. If all of the following points are fixed, the good will shine through. First, lag. The game is extremely unoptimized, not only in terms of your frames per second, but also in terms of your server connection. I'm getting terrible FPS and I'm teleporting back and forth because of the servers. This right here is the first thing that people are going to experience, and it's a massive reason why this game has a mixed rating on Steam. In my opinion, this game was pushed out way too fast. Radical Heights, a game that should be easily run on all systems, can't run above 100 FPS on low settings on my gaming computer. That's completely inexcusable. The graphics are also really bad, but to be fair, this isn't a concern for me. I run every game on low graphics anyway to go and maximize my FPS since that's what I've always done. But for people wanting the game to look a little bit better, there needs to be some improvement in this area. The sound, in my opinion, is a much bigger area of concern. People complaining about the graphics and all that complain about the sound because it's absolute garbage. While it's possible to go and find the general area of where people are fighting, it's impossible to go and pinpoint gunfire or footsteps or if the enemy is above me or where the enemy is at all. This makes it extremely difficult to find out where enemies are in general, increasing the frustration when somebody just runs up behind me but I can't even hear them. This is by far my biggest concern with the game, along with the FPS and the server lag, of course, because overall, this directly relates to how well I perform in a match. Placeholder textures don't matter to me because in the end of it, a blank wall versus a textured wall doesn't go and improve my rating in the game. It doesn't make me a better player. But this does, right? If I have better sound, I can pinpoint where people are. If I'm not lagging, I can go and play better. Overall, I want my gameplay to be solid. I don't care what the game looks like. You could have grey walls for all I care. I just want the game to be smooth and functional. And at the moment, in terms of the sound and the FPS, that is not really existing. Moving into some less crucial issues. There is no ambient noise to go and speak of. It's eerily quiet if there's no bullets being fired, and this really goes against the theme of the game and also the pace it's trying to set. However, the guitar-driven theme when you go and dive in, along with a crowd chanting "spin to win," are absolutely fantastic, and I wouldn't say I want more of that while I'm actually fighting, but with that said, I want something to go and fill my ears. Well, not fill my ears, just be there and kind of comfort me in a way. You guys might get what I mean, but I want to hear some sort of ambient noise while I'm playing. Eerie silence makes it feel like a horror game, but this is a battle royale game. It's supposed to be exciting and fun, and at the moment it is, but the sound doesn't go and complement that. Mouse sensitivity in scope feels extremely weird, and also the control of BMX bikes is complete garbage. The map, in my opinion, is too big, there's a little bit too much walking, and it needs to be cut down, which in this case just means more kill zones at the start of the map. Normal loot spawns are also a bit hit and miss. It can take a while to find even a simple pistol. Now, it is expected by the game that if you want an AK-47, you have to farm up some cash and go and buy it, but not having a weapon very early into the match is extremely frustrating because there really is a low amount of very low tier loot. The warm-up time is currently 90 seconds as well. This is way too long and really kills the pace, especially because dying is extremely common. You can drop in, not find a gun, get blasted in the head with a shotgun, you're like, alright, we've got to go and queue up again, and then you wait like 2-3 minutes or whatever in order to go and get into the game. 90 seconds in the queue, maybe 30 seconds to 1 minute waiting to get into a game. Overall, very frustrating because it just completely kills the pace. Overall, there is a lack of polish in all areas, but that's to be expected from early access. This game got developed in like 5-6 months. Personally, I hate early access because the majority of games are trash, but Radical Heights has a playable experience with good gameplay and great ideas, and therefore a lot of potential. This needs to be pushed further and further and further, and once the performance issues are ironed out, I can really see this game catching on. When I first hopped on, well, I was getting 20 frames per second, server lag, couldn't even get into a game, had to try for like 20 minutes. I'm like, why am I playing this game? Yes, it was day one early access, but regardless, if that experience is felt by a lot of people, they just will uninstall and not play again. I'm a free-to-play channel. I review free-to-play games. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to keep this game on my computer. I'm going to go and try it again. And then I tried it again the day after, and it was actually not too bad. But you see what I'm getting at. You get past that initial barrier of the performance issues, and people go and at least give it a try. And if they enjoy what they're playing, I feel like they will go and come back. Now, in order to go and determine the success of the game, you got to get people installing the game in the first place, and that's all up to marketing and the image of the game. I made a video of that yesterday, and if you guys want to go and look at that marketing and image section, I'll go and link it in the description below. I'll link it at the end of the video, card in the top right hand corner, whatever. And you can go and check that out. It's a really interesting type of discussion about how this game needs to be marketed in order to go and appeal to a certain demographic of people. Now, with all of that said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to go and drop a like rating and also subscribe for more videos. We're getting closer and closer to 100k, and I would really appreciate it if you enjoyed the video to go and subscribe, because it would definitely help me out. But other than that, it's Undercover Dudes all the way from down under.